Controversial opinion. The night bus is kind of dumb. Happy Tuesday, Potterheads! Today we're discussing Chapter 3 of Prisoner of Azkaban and why the night bus kinda just confuses the crap out of me. But before we jump into it, if you want to, go ahead and pause the video and read that chapter summary in the description below. And if you're new here, welcome, thank you for joining us. I am so glad to have you here with us. If you would like to catch up, you can go ahead and click the card in the top left to go all the way back to book 1 if that's where you need to. And please don't forget that you can subscribe and ring the notification bell so that you don't miss a single episode as we reread the Harry Potter series. Okay, so let's talk about the night bus. More so, let's talk about why the night bus is just kind of confusing to me. I guess in previous rereads, I never really put much thought into, like, critical analysis of the night bus. I mean, it's whimsical, it's purple, it's 3 stories, it's just fun, you know? It's got Ernie and Stan and Chufalovor, and if you're watching the movie, he's a mudra. But now that I was reading the chapter with more of a critical eye to come up with a legitimate topic for a YouTube video, well, I had a lot of questions. And my first thought was kind of troubling. Does the night bus always appear immediately? Is it time traveling? And then I immediately thought, oh god, no. That is not a great start. Okay, I mean, obviously I'll have to take time and try to make some sense of time travel in the Wizarding World, but, like, can I please not have to talk about that until at least later in the book? But I hoped as the chapter went on that I would find at least some little nugget that I could expand into a full discussion, you know, like I always do. But nope, the questions about the night bus just kept flooding in. Who uses the night bus? What constitutes an emergency for transport? Why don't more people use it because it's not very expensive? Does the bus always pop right to someone as soon as they throw out their wand arm? Does it always have to pop back to where it came from, like it's on some sort of magical bungee cord? What if 7 different people all call the bus at the same time? What does it do then? As you can see, this got a little problematic. And then I realized, how is the bus itself making non-magical things jump out of the way? How is it making light posts and mailboxes just jump out of the way as if they've been magic the whole time? And why does the bus ever have to drive like a normal bus? If it can pop to any witch or wizard who calls them immediately and then pop right back to where it was before, why can't it just do that to take them to their destination? You guys, it's just, the logic of the night bus is just a damn mess. But I was determined to find answers to my questions because there must be some out there. I mean, it's the night bus. It's iconic and fan favorite and hugely important and plays a big role in the rest of the... Oh, wait, what's that? It's really not that important at all and isn't really going to come back that much? Oh, and it only got conflated in all of our minds because Alfonso Cuarón spent a little bit too much time on it in the Prisoner of Azkaban movie? Oh, okay. Moving on. Now, I understand the application and the need for the bus. Harry is obviously exactly the kind of person who would need something like this. An underage wizard who has no legal means of independent transportation, either muggle or wizard, except for walking everywhere. And we see Hermione use it for the same reasons later in the series when she needs to get to Grimmauld Place. But she's muggle-born and she can't apparate yet, ergo, night bus. But still, I'm really troubled by how it all works. And you guys, I cannot find any freaking information on it. Now, I understand how wizards can hail it. It's just some sort of trace charm that's been placed on the bus or everyone where wizards just stand on the curb and stick out their wand arm and they can just call the bus and it pops to them immediately. But hold the phone! There are some pretty glaring issues with that. First and foremost, what if someone happens to be like 1 foot on the bus, 1 foot off the bus at the exact moment that someone else hails it? And like, the bus just goes. Is it like getting splinched? Like when you don't apparate right? I mean, obviously that's gonna cause some issues. So is the bus like somehow able to time travel in those few seconds between the popping back and forth and when that happens? Like, say the bus is in Cardiff at 2:32 p.m. and someone hails the bus in Birmingham. And the bus pops right there at 2:32 p.m. and the guy takes a few minutes to get on and get his stuff settled. And by the time the bus pops back, it is 2:36. So does it just pop back to 2:32 in Cardiff? Like, that's how much I don't understand how the night bus works, you guys. I'm suggesting it time travels. And if the bus gets called by multiple people at the same time, how does it know who to go to first? And how does it know where to pop back to, ultimately? Like I mentioned earlier, is it some kind of magical bungee cord situation? So, like, the bus is ultimately tethered to its original location? And my biggest problem is the bus's seeming inability to take you to your destination destination the same way that it picks you up. Sure, you can get on this supposedly emergency transportation nearly immediately, but, you know, it's gonna take a couple hours to get to your destination. Now, this could be explained by Pottermore's description of who the bus is for. For witches and wizards who are flu-sick, whose apparition is unreliable, who hate heights, or who feel frightened or queasy taking port keys. There is always the night bus, which appears whenever a witch or wizard is in urgent need of transportation, sticks out their wand arm at the kerb. Also, fun fact, I learned today that the British spell kerb K-E-R-B, while we in the US spell it C-U-R-B. Language is confusing. But if apparition and flu powder and other things aren't good for these witches and wizards, then why is an apparating bus going to be any better? The bus basically apparates or port keys while people are on it from location to location to location. And yet it would seem that the driving that it for some reason still requires is made for magical people who can't handle those other means of magical transportation. So the bus in itself is a contradiction. It'll drive you places if you can't stand other means of travel, but also it's gonna use some of those means of travel. Amid all this confusion and questioning, I came up with a better idea. Why not just have some sort of service where, you know, witches and wizards still in need of emergency transportation can still stick out their wand arm to call some kind of transportation, but instead of a bus that also needs to drive, why not just have highly trained employees that are experts at apparition and location services just serve as like an apparating taxi service? You hail them down, they apparate to your location, they're experts in location services and apparition, they grab you, they grab your stuff, you go side along, apparate, and then you get to your place. Simple as that. I don't know about you guys, but I think that's a pretty elegant solution to a complicated problem. Okay, go ahead, comment below with all of the problems with my idea, and comment below with all of the reasons that the night bus actually makes sense, and all of the love that you guys have for the night bus. And to be fair, I'm not even saying that I don't like the night bus. I love the night bus. I have a tote bag with the night bus on it. AccuBox.com, use promo code KevLoman at checkout for 15% off your first month's box of a month subscription. But it's in the trunk of my car right now, and I don't really feel like going to get it, so... I like the night bus. I just also think it doesn't really make that much sense, even for the logic of the wizarding world. And now it's time for a brand new segment that I like to call What the Fudge! Yay, new segment! In this new segment, I will be searching through the books and dissecting everything that I can to make the case for Cornelius Fudge, Minister of Magic, being one of, if not the, worst people in the books. Go ahead, name an evil person in the series. I guarantee you, Fudge's actions and choices somehow played into that person being empowered or enabled. Anywho, it's time for... What the Fudge! So in this chapter, when Fudge is talking to Harry in the Leaky Cauldron, he is clearly so keenly interested in protecting Harry. Protecting a child who, up until now, he has really shown almost no regard for at all. There's really been no indication at all that Harry's best interests are of much importance to him. But suddenly, he's so interested in protecting Harry from Sirius Black. But why? Now that might seem like a cruel and unusual question, especially coming from a father, but this is Fudge we're talking about. Cornelius Fudge, ardent denier of the return of the Dark Lord. Cornelius Fudge, supporter of guilty until proven innocent systems of justice. Cornelius Fudge, lime green bowler hat guy. Why is he so interested in protecting Harry if, as it seems in later books, he thinks Voldemort is already truly defeated? If that's true, Harry need not worry more than any other child who may accidentally encounter notorious mass murderer Sirius Black. Like, yeah, maybe Sirius is looking to kill Harry, but if that's actually true and he's actually a mass murderer, then, you know, like, maybe everyone should just watch their backs. So really, this just seems like Fudge trying to score some political points. Like, maybe Fudge is actually more interested in getting Harry on his side instead of actually protecting Harry. Because what politician wouldn't want the boy who lived, the baby who defeated the greatest dark wizard since Gellert Grindelwald on his side? I don't buy it for a second that Fudge actually cares about Harry. If he did, he would have signed his permission slip. Sorry, I just get so heated when I talk about Fudge. Okay guys, for today's fun question, I want to know, would you guys travel on the night bus? And I don't mean just like, yeah, I'd love to travel on the night bus because I'm a Potterhead and I want to do everything in the wizarding world. Like, no. Pretend you are a full wizard, you've been a wizard for your whole life, and you know how terrible a trip on the night bus is. Would you do it? Let me know in the comments below. And that is all for us this week, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, and please share it with a lot of people that you you know are Potterheads. And if you're not subscribed, please do subscribe below and ring the notification bell so you don't miss a single episode. And if you guys really love being a part of this community, there are ways that you can support me in the description and on screen right now. Click here to see my Crimes of Grindelwald review, but warning, there are big spoilers, and click here to see the previous book club episode. Your assignment for next week is to read chapter 4, that's the Leaky Cauldron. So make sure you guys read that by next Tuesday, and I will see you then. Until then, happy reading! Knox!